So the first thing I want to do is I want to check the ends for square. That is really good. We chose hemlock and we got it from a local sawmill. So we're going to pull our tape measure from this way, running that way, and we'll cut off that end. It's durable, it's hard, and it's a little bit in a more agreeable price point than cedar, but it's something a step above using pressure treated. I don't like the way that this came from the mill with this crack in it. So this will either get cut off, or we could also bury this up in our beam and rafter framing. I'm gonna make a mark here at 7'6". This is working off of the control point on our footing, which is the highest out of the ground. So none of our posts or our head height are gonna be shorter than 7'6". But I need to add 11¼ inches to represent the width of our beam, and another 11¼ inches to represent the width of our rafters, which means that the overall length of this beam is 112½. This is where we're gonna make our cut. It means that we'll be able to get rid of some of this cracking in material here that I didn't like on the end of our 6x6. So for layout, I need to make marks all the way around the post. Now we can go ahead and get ready to cut our material. I'm gonna use my 7¼ inch rear handle circular saw. This saw will not be able to cut through all of the material in one pass, so we're gonna have to make multiple passes to cut all the way through this material. Now there's a little bit of material right in the center of this post that our circular saw was not able to cut, so we do need to cut that out in there. Another detail that I'm going to add to this is I'd like to ease this sharp edge on our posts. So what I have here is a cordless palm router with just a small 1/8 inch roundover bit, and I'm just going to run it up and down these edges just to take that hard edge off. Anybody that may brush up against this or run their hand on it, less likely to get splinters, and visually it just softens it up a little bit. The last step we're gonna take before we install this post is to seal and protect the end grain with this wax. This product is called Anchor Seal. It is an emulsified wax, so when it is inside the can, it's more liquidy and pasty, but when it dries just like a wax. Even though the Simpson hardware has standoffs built into the hardware, this is a belt and suspenders approach where we really want to protect the end grain of this lumber so that it doesn't wick up any moisture. This wood was locally sourced from a mill, and I do want to protect the investment here. Let's pick up this first post and nest it right in the bracket where it's going to get stood. You can just set it right in. Perfect. Let's record the measurement that we need for the next one. We need to add 1 9/16. So we need to take that first number that we established and add 1 9/16 to it because it's that much lower into the ground. So I'm gonna record my 112½, then I'm gonna add my 1 9/16. That's 114 1/16. If you get it down in that bracket, just rest it. So we're gonna add 3 5/8 to our next number. This is our cut line. Great. We can do this one next. Starting with that 112½, and adding 3 1/4. This is our cut line. So all of our posts are cut and ready to be installed. We're ready to tip our first one up, get it plumbed, and get it braced off. Does that look like it's visually centered in the hardware? That looks good. Let's go ahead and brace this. You let me know when it's plumb, and I'm gonna put a screw in this right there. How's that? Looks great. Let's move on to the next brace for the other side. Let me know when you're ready. That looks great. I'm really happy with that. Now that we have our first post plumbed and braced, we're ready to fasten it to our adjustable post base. We're using this Simpson Strong Tie hex head washer and structural wood screw. These components are part of the Outdoor Accents line and are made to look like a through bolt or a carriage bolt. I think we're ready to set that next post. We're just gonna work our way around and get them all stood up and braced. We're not gonna fasten this quite yet because we still need to manipulate it plumb. It needs to go in that direction. So when we get the other middle post in, we can pull it back and then brace it off to the bottom of that other post. So we're gonna move on to this next one. So for bracing those posts, I prefer to use 2x4, right there. I had a bunch laying around and that's what I used. That is really good. We can fasten this right in the bracket right now. So I'm putting a 6.5 foot level across these posts just to verify that all the math we did with the different elevations of our footings and cutting the post to our desired length has now paid off in the tops of these being level to each other, and they are perfect. That looks great. I'm really happy with that. Good.